An expert makes dreams come true. Call your Cruise Holidays Vacation store.
When I bite into a York peppermint patty, I get the sensation I'm riding the luge, racing at over 100 miles per hour as the wind whips over my body.
York peppermint patty. Get the sensation.
No matter where you're going or what you're doing, the weather can affect you. This winter, rely on the experts. Nobody knows weather like we do.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
This morning, a late winter storm continues to cause trouble in the northeastern United States. Heavy snow overnight creates air traffic delays in Philadelphia and across the Northeast. In the Baltimore area, up to 10 inches of snow created a 20-car pileup on I-70. And this morning in New York City,
inches of snow here in the tri-state, bringing down power and also causing many school closings in the area. A report coming up.
Good morning and welcome to Weather Center, sponsored by Buick. I'm Marnie Stanier. We have special coverage this morning on winter season 99's late punch to the country, and a widespread area is affected. New York City will see snow, then rain that turns to snow. Boston's morning snow should follow the same pattern. After a wet night, Atlanta will have a breezy morning, while Washington, D.C. will have light rain. For the latest on this storm, let's go to Marshall Cease in the Forecast Center.
Thanks, Marnie. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at Weather Center for another storm in the Northeast. Seems like just a week ago we were wrapping one up in Maryland and around the Washington, D.C. area. Maryland area got hit again. Western Maryland's got over a foot of snow, and there's some school closings there. Schools in Allegheny and Garrett counties are going to be closed today. Washington County schools are going to be closed as well. But a lot of other counties are just indicating some delayed school openings this morning. And we checked the metro out of New York City, north and northeast. No delays there. Let's take a look at the history of this storm in the northeast. And as you see, we got anywhere from 12 to 17 or 12 to 20 inches of snow in south central Pennsylvania and around the Garrett County area this morning. Bedford, Pennsylvania got about 18 inches. Gettysburg, 11. New York City at JFK officially about 5 inches. And Providence, Rhode Island checked in with 5 as well. We still have an upper level system that has got to be headed this direction as well, but this is the surface low that has been causing the problems this morning with heavy snow around Long Island overnight with a snow burst where it snowed at about 2 inches per hour. Temperatures hovering right around the freezing mark is one of the reasons that you're looking at those big wet flakes out there this morning, and with strong winds, wind chills have been in the teens in most of the locations. Winds have been gusting to over 33 miles an hour down near the Delmarva, and we have gale warnings from Currituck Beach, North Carolina, northward to Eastport, Maine. A lot of travel problems out there, both in the highways of the sky and the roadways. It looks like this storm is going to be winding down this morning. That's the good news. Some of the roads not too bad, those that are treated in some of the major interstates. I'm joined here in the Weather Center with Paul Kosin, our winter weather expert. Paul, you were here late last night watching this snow as it continued to develop and deepen. Can you tell us from the satellite picture whether or not you think it's winding down this morning?
It's going to be winding down across the New York City area in the next few hours. We're also seeing conditions improving in Philadelphia and Baltimore. To the south of Washington, D.C., we're going to see some continued snowfall, but that's primarily in the mountains, some rain and snow in that area there. The biggest problem this morning is going to be across much of southern New England, where very heavy snow is going to be continuing. What we're seeing is the movement of that upper low that we've been following for days now towards the east. It's beginning to weaken somewhat, but we're still getting some wraparound precipitation across especially the Virginia mountains. But the real concern is low pressure now out over east of the Delmarva Peninsula that's moving towards the northeast. It's bringing in a lot of moisture across to the northeastern United States, and the heaviest snow is now moved to a portion just east of New York City across much of central and eastern New England. If we're looking on the radar, we can see a lot of that moisture right now. It's starting to end across eastern Long Island. They've received 4 to 8 inches across much of Long Island, 3 to 5 inches within New York City itself. But the heaviest snow is now going to be focused across much of central and eastern Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, much of central and eastern Massachusetts, and that'll be moving north. So for the Boston metropolitan area, the Providence metropolitan area, New Bedford, Massachusetts, look for that heavy snow and big travel problems this morning.
All right, Paul, we'll come back to this radar in just a minute. First, though, in Terrytown, New York, Bill Keneally has been stationed watching the events this morning, and we want to go to Bill for the local conditions. Bill, how's it looking?
Getting there. It's getting a little better now, Marshall. The snow is starting to wind down here. We're right at the Tappan Zee Bridge behind me. You can see the spans here in the blue lights. Traffic is starting to move fairly decently coming in from Rockland County, but I think, Marshall, safe to say the damage has been done. It's been a fairly wet, widespread 4 to 8 inch snowfall across the tri-state area. That has brought power outages to the region. There's gusty wind out there too, and with that in mind, I caution folks on the bridges, not only the Tappan Zee Bridge behind me, but also the George Washington Bridge from New Jersey inbound to the Bronx, and likewise the bridges spanning the East River, the Throgs Neck and the Whitestone Bridges. Those high bridges with that increasing northeast wind will not be fun. The speed restrictions do apply on the bridges and also the Jersey Turnpike. It has been cut down to 35 miles per hour over roughly the entire northern 50 miles. A lot of widespread power outages, and also a lot of schools are shut here across the tri-state, Marshall. But it is a very heavy, very wet snow. Let's take a quick peek at that if we could. My cameraman Jim Lee panning down here for me. It's generally about a 4-inch snowpack here. And Marshall, I caution you because this is here in the Hudson River. We're only about 100 feet or so in elevation. I promise you, as you gain elevation here in Westchester, Rockland County, and northwestern New Jersey, snowfall tallies probably on the order of 6 to 12 inches. So folks, use caution. The interstates are in better shape, but it's going to be getting to the interstates that's going to be the issue. And hopefully this snow continues to wind down across the metro area as we move on through the morning rush. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Bill. Indeed, it does look like it might be winding down, but I remember yesterday when Jim Cantori was sitting in Cincinnati after it looked like it was winding down and suddenly got into some very, very heavy snow for a couple of hours anyway. And Paul, that brings up a question on this radar. It looks like there might be some more to the south and west with the upper level system. What do you think?
Well, it looks like the upper level system is beginning to rotate around. The surface low associated with that old system is still in North Carolina. And as we're seeing some of that precipitation's filling in, good news and bad news. Good news is that across from Richmond, northward across 95 through Quantico, Washington, D.C. towards Baltimore, temperatures are above freezing. But we are seeing a development of that band of precipitation just to the west. And within that band, with elevation especially, some of that is going to be some heavy snows. That will continue in the mountains. Whether some of that snowfall starts to come down again, it looks like it's beginning to develop again just to the west of the Washington area. In some of those heavier bands, we could see that rain mixing with and changing over to snow.
As we get to a close-up radar near Boston, it looks like just south of Boston, there's still some heavy snow, and I think moderate snow is being reported at Logan. How many hours of snow do you think we're going to be getting here?
It looks like we're going to, for the next 3 to 5 hours, southeastern New England's really going to be under the gun for moderate to heavy snow, very wet snow, and significant accumulations in excess of 6 inches will occur throughout this area.
Okay. Looks like that means some delays this morning with some of the travel. There are some delays at some of the airports out there. We'll have all those details coming up.